guys, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a review and demo of a brand new foundation from bareMinerals. This is the bareMinerals barePRO Performance Wear Liquid Foundation with SPF 20. So this is a brand new foundation that is coming to bareMinerals on July 24th, I believe, at least in the boutiques. That's when it will be coming. It is supposed to be a performance wear 24-hour foundation that lasts all day and gives you medium to full matte coverage. So you'll see how I apply it in the demo that's coming up in a little bit. But they did also come out with a new brush for this. This is called the Luxe Performance brush, and it's a synthetic brush. It's so super soft, and it looks like this. It's got a pinched ferrule, and then it's angled on the long edge, if you can see that. So the idea is you can like kind of paint on your foundation. As you'll see in the demo, I don't use this brush because personally it's not my type of brush that I like to apply this foundation with. I prefer to either buff or stamp it in with a beauty blender, but this is a really nice brush and I do recommend the brush itself. Also, bareMinerals is coming out with new primers. I believe they're coming out around the same time, but I'm not 100% sure. The one I have here is the Combo Control Face Primer, and this is obviously for more oily to combination skin. There is another one called Good Hydrations, and it is a hydrating face primer. So back on the foundation, this comes in 30 shades, and the shades do match what the barePRO powder foundation shades are. And you get 1 fluid ounce, and there is a pump on here as well, which is really nice, and it locks, so you can push down and it won't spill. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this foundation will more than likely be $30. That's what the bareMinerals barePRO powder foundation is. And the shade I have is the shade Dawn 02. It was kind of hard for me to choose a foundation shade because honestly there's 3 that are pretty close that I could probably get away with. This is 1 Fair, this is 2 Dawn, which is on my skin today, and this is 3 Champagne, which is the most yellow of them all. Fair I just thought would wash me out too much. I still am not 100% sure if I think Dawn is my best match, but that's the one I went with. And I definitely think it looks okay and like a good, you know, solid match. Once this foundation sets, it definitely sets. It is on your face. I wore it yesterday and I never touched up once. I never had to blot my oil away, which is groundbreaking for me. I usually touch up 3 to 5 times a day. Now, I am not able to do like a wear test on this for you. If you would just take my word for it, it does wear a really long time. The actual consistency of the product is pretty darn liquidy. Like, it runs pretty easily, but it does give good coverage and it is buildable. So if you like fuller coverage foundations that don't look heavy or cakey and you like a matte finish, this, I think, would definitely be one to check out. I personally like it, and I have tried a ton of foundations, and I am pretty darn picky about what I like and what I don't like. Things I do like right now, I love the Untitled foundation with my Cover FX drops mixed in to give a little bit extra coverage. I like the Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo foundation. If I had to compare this formula to something else that I've tried, it feels a lot like the Tarte Maracuja foundation that they came out with on QVC. It has the same kind of consistency as that kind of really liquidy with actual good coverage, but this is a lot more matte than that is. That doesn't really ever set to a matte finish. It's pretty dewy, but this, it does eventually it sets to a matte finish. I think those are all my initial thoughts. So without further ado, let's just get right to the demo and I will show you how I apply it on my skin. First, I'm going to use some primer. And it looks almost like a moisturizer. It's pretty runny, but it has somewhat of a tacky feel, but not sticky. Like, it's just kind of, it doesn't glide like a silica primer does, but it definitely feels like your makeup's gonna stick to it. And it kind of feels matte a little. Like, it's definitely not dewy at all. I really like it. It's a kind of a unique primer to my collection. I don't have anything that really feels or goes on this way. So for the foundation, it does have a pump, which is awesome. Who doesn't love a pump on their foundation? I want to use my Clarisonic on this side of my face and a Beauty Blender on this side of my face, just so you can kind of see how they apply. So I'm just going to pump some out on my hand. It's pretty runny. So I'm just going to blend this out with my Clarisonic on this side. I would say I got a high, like a solid medium coverage on that. I'm just going to take a little bit more. I think it blends out so nice with the Clarisonic. I think it covers really nicely without looking heavy. I think it just looks really nice. Right now it's looking a little bit dewy, but I know from experience that it does set to a matte finish. So if you let it set for a little bit, it will become more matte. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side with the Beauty Blender. I'm just going to take a little bit more on my hand, tap a little in. And there is essentially one layer with the Beauty Blender. I think it gets, you know, comparable coverage. I probably see a little bit less coverage than the brush, but it looks like almost more natural, I think. And so it looks very nice with the Beauty Blender. So I would recommend this as well. But I mean, I just love the coverage I get from this, and it's so fast. I don't have to work too hard to get full coverage, and when I get full coverage, I feel like it doesn't look heavy. Because I have a pretty big blemish right there that it covered it up really well, and I have a lot of things down here that it covered. As for the shade, I think it looks good. It's probably a hair dark. The fair is just too light, I think. And I just think it looks really good on my nose, which is a major problem area for me. A lot of things don't look great on my nose because it's almost like a slip and slide. It's just, things just slide right off of it. And my forehead looks super smooth. So I think I'm done applying the foundation, and I'm going to actually set this with a powder. If you have less oily skin than me, you probably don't even need to set this with a powder because, like I said, it will set to a matte finish, and it sets pretty quickly. So to set this, I'm using my Dermablend setting powder in the shade Original and my E54 flat top kabuki brush. So I'm just taking a little powder and just pressing that in. I like to use a lot of powder because I like to make sure every single part of my foundation is covered, so I don't have any accidents whenever I go to put on bronzer and blush. And I don't want to take any coverage away, so I tap. Gonna take a little of my Beauty Blender and get my under eye. And you'll notice I didn't use any extra concealer or anything. I think this just is a great foundation on its own. So this is what it looks like with a powder on top. It makes it really matte, which is not everybody's thing. Some people would like it to be a little bit more, you know, natural looking, more dewy, but that's just not my jam. Is this foundation gonna be for everybody? Absolutely not. Not every foundation that they come out with, new foundation, is for everybody. You know, everyone has different tastes and preferences. This just happens to be something that I really enjoy. So I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup and come back and give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I've applied the rest of my makeup on top of the barePRO foundation, and since I set it with the powder, obviously everything goes on pretty smooth. I have no complaints about how it applies on top. This actually probably is my favorite foundation right now. I don't say that lightly, and I'm not saying it just because it's bareMinerals. I truly, genuinely like this foundation. So I put a little of the bareMinerals Contour Palette Powder in my contour. I used my bareMinerals Invisible Bronze Powder in medium, which is HG bronzer for me right now. My blush was this Makeup Revolution Blush Infusion. My highlighter was the highlighter from the Pantone Sephora Marsala palette. For my eyes, I use the 35R palette from Morphe. And then on my lips, I have the Tarteist Birthday Suit Lip Paint that you get from your Sephora birthday gift. I feel like I've been pretty clear throughout this whole video, but just to sum it up, I love this foundation. I think it's great. The only thing that concerns me is people with dry skin, because it's kind of, it doesn't really get tight, but I can kind of like feel it when I like smile or like stretch my cheeks. I kind of feel like it's tight, and that's probably the mineral lock technology that's in this that helps it to stay on for 24 hours. That's kind of making it feel like that. I think maybe with the new hydrating primer, you know, dry skin people might love this too. I think you have to almost love a fuller coverage foundation. You can't really get sheer coverage from this. It's more, it starts at medium and goes up. But that pretty much sums up all of my thoughts about this new foundation from bareMinerals. Like I said, it's going to be in stores July 24th. There are 30 shades, and they do match the barePRO powder foundation shades. If you have any questions about this product or other products or things that you would like to see a more in-depth review on, please let me know below. Or if you just have questions, please leave those below. If you like this video, please hit like and or subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.